In football, managers get to decide their starting 11s to win the game, but sometimes the players are trash, and the manager has to resort to their bench. Here they must pick a player to save them, a hero, a super sub, a player that flips the game on its head, changing the flow of the match and winning it for their team. In this video I'll go through some of the best and most impactful super sub performances, some legendary performances that belong in a museum. The first player I'll talk about today is Robert Lewandowski. Before he was known for his interest in dancing, he was one of the best and most feared strikers in Europe. Playing for Bayern, he was a goal scoring machine. Left foot, right foot, heading. This guy had it all and was frightening to play against. The next team to try and stop Robert was Wolfsburg. The odds were stacked against them. This was a David vs Goliath matchup. Wolfsburg didn't stand a chance. But luckily for Wolfsburg, Pep did what Pep does best and overcomplicated the lineup, benching Robert.
It was Frau Diola. Okay.
Going into the game, many were surprised that Lewa wasn't starting the game, but Pep stuck to his guns and Bayern had more than enough talent to destroy Wolfsburg. But early on it was clear that Wolfsburg had the upper hand and eventually they scored, stunning Bayern. But it was fine, Bayern just needed to keep calm, keep their defensive stability and...
What is the goalkeeper doing? Why are you there?
Luckily for Neuer, the ball didn't drop for Martinelli, and the shot brushed past the post. The first half came to a close and Bayern had been dominated. Wolfsburg had multiple amazing opportunities and were about to pull off an insane upset. The game was in their hands, but unfortunately for them, they had awakened a goal-scoring god, an unplayable monster, Robert Lewandowski. He instantly made his mark with his first touch, tapping it past the keeper to level the game. Then just 1 minute later, Robert blasted a shot from outside the box to earn his double. Then just 3 minutes later, Robert would do the impossible, assisting himself for the hat-trick. At this point, Wolfsburg were horrified. Robert was unstoppable. He was like Midas, but instead of gold, everything he touched turned to goals. However, the comeback was still in sight for Wolfsburg. Just contain Robert, but they couldn't, smashing in his fourth from point-blank range. It was like watching a grown man play against children. It was unfair, but Robert said, "Don't care," scoring an absolute wonder goal and completing his quintuple. Pep was shocked. Robert had scored 5 goals in 9 minutes. It takes Pep longer to shine his head in the morning. Lewandowski scored more goals in 10 minutes than Sancho has in the last 5 seasons. And from that day onward, Robert earned his title as Robert Lewandowski.
Yeah, we in Bayern, we have Robert Lewandowski. You know, Robert Lewandowski.
For the next game, we look at a United team that is considered one of the best of all time, humbling every opponent they come up against. Sorry, wrong picture. For the next game, we have to go back to 1999. United found themselves in the Champions League final, facing off against Bayern. Adding to the stakes further, if they won this game, they would complete a treble, cementing their name in football history. But Bayern would not roll over without a fight. They had some world-class players, and were even going for a treble of their own, winning the Bundesliga with ease. And I know for Bayern, this is like stealing candy from a baby. That's blindfolded, but this is still an impressive achievement. This was a clash of titans at the top of their game, but the match started shaky as Johnson attacked Janka, giving away a free kick on the edge of the box. Bayern were very dangerous in this position, so United needed a good wall placement, but unfortunately there was a massive gap, so big you could fit a bus in there, or Garnacho's ego, and the free kick slotted in the corner. This was a horrific start, and after this the floodgates opened. United were drowning in Bayern opportunities, near miss after near miss, great save after great save, shots hitting the post and then the bar. Bayern were getting closer every minute and it looked like a breakthrough was imminent. But late on in the game, 2 subs were made to change the tide. United brought on Sheringham and Solskjær. These two would do anything for the badge. They would score for the badge. They would attack for the badge. They would take a group picture with P. Diddy for the badge. Anything as long as United won. And with 10 minutes left on the clock, they tried to grab the game and drag United to victory. And their partnership would be on full display as Ollie flicked it to Sheringham, but his shot was caught with ease. And then again, just minutes later, Ollie's header was dealt with. It seemed everything United were doing had no effect on Bayern, and the clock was ticking past the 90th minute. It was over. until the ball fell for Giggs, who did a shot towards goal, and Sheringham did a sublime spin kick to put United level and back in the game. The world was in disbelief, but before anyone could process what happened, Beckham curled in a corner, which reached Sheringham, who leaped like a salmon and put it on a plate for Ollie.
To Sheringham, and Solskjær has won it!
United had won it, and it was because of these two men coming on and transforming the game. Bayern watched as United lifted the Champions League, defeated in the space of 5 minutes. For the next game, we go to the 2019 Champions League semi-final, where Liverpool faced off against Barcelona. Both teams were at the top of their games and the favourites to win the whole competition. But in the first leg, Barca didn't just beat Liverpool, they humiliated, shamed, and embarrassed them. Messi toyed with Liverpool like he was playing with his dog, but despite everyone thinking the tie was over, Liverpool weren't going to give up that easy. And in just the 6th minute, one of the clutchest players of all time, Origi, would make his mark after Henderson slithered through Barca's defence. This was a sensational start for Liverpool, cutting the lead down to just 2 goals. But after this, Barca found their groove and began to dominate. Their passing was pinpoint, their dribbling was lethal. It looked like a matter of time before Barca would burst through Liverpool's defence. So at half time, they brought on
Wijnaldum.
And here the switch flipped as Trent dispossessed Alba and put a cross into the box, but it was behind Mane. Gini needed to outpace Vidal and score, but luckily for Barca, Vidal made a great last-ditch tackle. But it was on the wrong guy, and Gini blasted the chance into the back of the net. But before Barca could compute what happened, 1 minute later the widest man in football would put it on a plate for Wijnaldum, who would not disappoint, heading the ball into the top corner. Gini was playing like 2022 Beth Mead. Barca could not contain him. In the space of a few minutes, Gini had single-handedly levelled the game for Liverpool. Lewandowski would be proud. But it was fine. All Barca needed to do was keep calm and stay alert. Just don't concede again.
3-0. Corner taken quickly, Origi!
Origi, like he always does, clutched up for Liverpool after Barca's whole defence fell asleep, and Liverpool won the game, overcoming the colossal setback many thought was impossible, all thanks to the sub, Gini. For the next game, we have to go back to 2014 when Germany reached the World Cup final after embarrassing and vaporising Brazil 7-1. They now had to play Argentina. Riding the high of humbling Brazil, Germany were the favourites, but despite their stacked team, only by a small margin. They were not the nailed-on winners because Argentina had beat some tough opponents and had the GOAT at the top of his game, Gonzalo Higuain. Plus Messi was playing decent as well. As soon as the game started, Gonzalo made his mark as his shot barely rolled past the far post. Then just minutes later, Toni Kroos, doing his best Santa impression, gifted Higuain the easiest shot of his life. So far, Argentina were testing Germany's shaky defence, despite having a minimal attacking threat. It looked like a matter of time before Argentina opened the score. And after missed attempt, Gonzalo Higuain scored! Stepping up, smashing the ball in for his country, and he was offside. After this, both teams traded blows, desperate to win the game, even trying to knock out Higuain. So far, the game had been incredible. Incredibly boring. Both teams were balanced and cancelling each other out, but in the 87th minute, one man was subbed on to change this and provide a spark for Germany, Mario Götze. With each minute that passed, the pressure and tension increased. Neither team wanted to make a mistake, but they also didn't want the game to go to penalties. Then, late into extra time, Palacios found himself into space and the goal was gaping. But despite Palacios having a haircut of a Star Wars Padawan, he couldn't force the ball in. It seemed destined for the game to go to pens. But in the blink of an eye, Schürrle charged forward, breaking Argentina's solid line and dunked the ball into the box. And Super Mario sprung up, controlling the ball with his leap and slotting it in, winning the World Cup for Germany. Messi and Argentina tried to fight after this, but they had already subbed off Higuain half an hour ago, so they didn't stand a chance. After the game, Götze held nothing back, sharing his controversial opinion on the Argentine national team. But there you have it, just some of football's best super subs. If there's any I've missed, let me know in the comments. And remember to never give up on your club in football. It takes just one sub to win a game.
Unless you're a Tottenham fan, then you can probably give up.